now, and we are in. So, hello guys, and welcome to Masters of Arabia 2v2 edition. We've got a matchup here between TaToH and Era, the first team, and team number 2 being Spaden and Luffis from Nabs. Interesting that these guys have teamed up, both of them obviously being Swedish, but quite a little bit of a skill difference between them. But either way, I'm excited to see what they're going to do. They are the lower seed going into this game. I think I said they were seed 19, and TaToH and Era are seed 14 or something. So there's a little bit of a gap between them in seedings, but obviously seeding isn't the whole story. If seedings were completely accurate, there would be no need for a tournament at all, because otherwise you'd just end up with everyone in their seeding positions, and that would be that. But anyway, we'll introduce team number 1, the higher rated team at the moment. That's TaToH. He's playing in the red up to the north of the map. Now on the scoreboard, you've got the Spanish flag to represent TaToH and Era. That's just because I put TaToH's name first, but they're not both from Spain, because Era, playing in the blue down to the southeast of the map, is from the Czech Republic. And he's playing as the Mongols down here. So team 1, Mongols and Byzantines. And with the first game, the setting is so that it's completely random civs. So we should see Spaden on a completely different civ, and he is indeed. He's down to the very south of the map in the purple, playing as the Franks. And up to the northwest of the map in the teal, we've got Luffis playing as the Saracens. So completely different civs for each of the 4 players. And in game number 2, the teams will swap over, so it's Saracens and Franks for Spaden and Luffis now, but next game, TaToH and Era will be playing as the Saracens and Franks. So over the 2 games, there's not going to be any civ advantage, but in each individual game, there may possibly be a civ advantage. I imagine if you got the Britons and the, the Britons and the Mayans versus the Goths and the Aztecs, for example, then obviously there's going to be some advantages there, and you're going to switch them over next time in game number 2. So it all ends up being fair and square in the end. So Luffis spoke to me before this tournament, because I said I would cast these games, and he said, don't watch me too much because I'm a little bit rusty at the moment, and he's trying to get back into it. So we'll keep an eye out on him a little bit, but, you know, I'm going to see what's going on in the next couple of minutes, see if there's any drushing coming in. Obviously, with the Mongols in play, we could either see a drush or a fast feudal from Era here. And the Mongols are one of the top-tier dominant civs on Arabia, due to that fast feudal, which they can do. But also, you know, they can get away with doing a drush as well, and do a fast castle behind that. It all depends on the map. It depends what you prefer to sort of do as your personal preference. I think the standard sort of meta, the stronger one of those 2 would most likely be the fast feudal into scouts, and certainly one of the strongest strats out there, and certainly probably one of the strongest strats in this or out of these 4 civs, or, you know, viable strat for these 4 civs. TaToH playing as the Byzantines should mean that we see, you know, possibly a drush, but likely feudal aggression with a lot of skirms and things like that, which is probably going to be, I don't know, maybe hard countered by Luffis if he goes for knights. But Saracens actually really good knight civ. They just can't commit to them, since obviously those knights will fall off since they have no cavalier upgrade. But could also go for crossbows and stuff. But if I was Luffis, I wouldn't really want to go for crossbows unless I could afford to support it with mangonels, since if I am versus TaToH, it's likely he's going to be making a lot of skirms, and you kind of don't want to be making crossbows into that. And that obviously is because the Byzantines get their cheaper counter units, which is the skirmisher, the spearman, and the camel. So a little bit of action over here. It looks like Era was trying to steal a boar from Spaden, and Luffis sending his scout over to help Spaden out there. That was actually a good shout, and they nearly killed that scout from Era. This is really important because you've got to remember as well that the Mongols get extra line of sight on their scouts, so it allows them to not only scout themselves very quickly, but it allows them to scout for the enemy's boar as well a lot faster. And Era there trying to steal the boar. As the Mongols, it's really valuable if you can steal that boar, because that's a lot of extra food, but it's not only an extra 340 food, but you gather it 50% faster as well. So it's really powerful and really strong if you can get that, and it's going to just catapult you into the feudal age and going to make your feudal rush a lot stronger with those scouts, since they do require a lot of food to make as well. So Era here, first up to feudal as expected, and we'll be going straight into those scouts, no doubt. Would have been really nice if Spaden and Luffis could have killed that scout, because that's going to be able to get Era a decent amount of information as time goes by. It would be much preferable to kill it, but at the very least they have weakened it, which is going to potentially weaken Era's scout rush, because obviously once he gets to the feudal age, he'll also get an extra +2 attack on that as well, and if he's able to or if his scout's really weak, he's not really going to be able to do much damage with it either. So that's always worth keeping in mind. But TaToH and Era both very quick up to the feudal age. It looks like Spaden here is actually going for a little bit of a fast castle, since he's on 29 population already. That's 28 villagers right now. He's doing loom, and then he should be looking to go up, but he's kind of messed up a little bit. I see a dead villager over here. That could be due to lag, and he's also only just taking that boar as well because of how delayed it was from Era. And my bad, he's not actually on 28 villagers. That would be preposterous. He's also got 3 militia as well. So Spaden here actually going to try and drush and get on the counter attack. Since Era is so fast to feudal and we're expecting those scouts, Spaden doing the sensible thing here and putting the pressure on over at Era's base. The question is, will Era defend this with the scouts, or will he counter attack with the scouts, leaving Spaden potentially vulnerable to that? I think the answer is going to be no. I think he will defend with the scouts for now, and if he does go and counter attack, Spaden is very easily walled up. He's got a good map over here for that wall and a nice back gold as well, so it's going to be hard for Era to go and counter attack this and actually do a lot of damage with those scouts, which for Spaden he's going to be very happy about, because Era only gets that food gather advantage in the Dark Age while there's still the boar and the deer, but that's going to quickly drop off, and he goes to feudal with quite a weak economy, makes scouts, which is going to severely set him back in the food income, and that means that he's going to be very vulnerable to a fast castle from Spaden now, and he does lose that scout after clearing up the... he loses 2 scouts even after clearing up that drush. So the drush is cleaned up, but Spaden's bought himself enough time. He is quite comfortably walled up, and as long as there's not a hole, which there usually is, but as long as there isn't this time, maybe he'd be wise to plug this gap back here. Spaden thinking the same thing and actually building a house and a wall there as he fast castles this one. Should be able to keep himself safe, but bear in mind this is a 2v2. In a 1v1, this would put Spaden at a good advantage, but these scouts are just going to go somewhere else. They'll find, okay, well, we can't go into Spaden's base, let's go to Luffis instead. And Luffis could be in for a little bit of a 2v1 situation over here, and that could be pretty nasty. So here's TaToH up to the feudal age at the moment, and currently just staying feudal for a while, it would seem, as he starts making these skirms and spears. And this is exactly why I was saying for the Saracen player, it might be a better option not to go too heavy into archers, since they will be countered by the skirms in this game. Luffis, however, is throwing up 2 ranges and a blacksmith, but he's going to have a hard time versus this. And, the reason why TaToH here is throwing in the spears as well is because if Luffis decides to put down a stable and make some scouts, which would counter his skirmishes very hard, those scouts would be in turn countered by the spears. I still think for Luffis, he might want to throw down a stable at some point, but he can also take some kind of I don't know, satisfaction in the fact that TaToH won't be able to do too much damage with these skirmishers. They sure look kind of scary, but they're also not going to be doing too much damage to his vills, since each javelin will do just 1 damage, which requires 40 shots from these skirms, and Luffis should be fine. He will start, I imagine, switching to do some skirms of his own, and in theory, Luffis should not be losing too many villagers here, but how much gather time will he lose, as he's got currently 7 villagers, or more even, 9 villagers camping inside of this TC are being pushed away. But Era also coming in now. Like I said, those scouts, they've got nowhere to go because Spaden's walled up, and now Luffis is going to be 2v1'd, and he's going to have to try and just defend as hard as he can and hope that Spaden, once he gets to the castle age, will be able to send some knights and save his ass. But I think it's going to be a little while, since Spaden's only halfway up. But fortunately, Spaden is playing as the Franks, and that's probably one of the better civs you'd want to be having as your teammate in this situation, since there's going to be no delay getting bloodlines, and he's going to go straight into those defense upgrades, and that means that Spaden's cavalry should be coming to save the day. But Luffis here having a little bit of a hard time. At this stage, it might just be worth to fight with your villagers, but he is going to lose 1 or 2 at least here to these scouts at the back, and they're all getting tremendously low as they run back to the TC, getting blocked in, and wow, Luffis must have lost about 5 villagers there, if not more. I think I count 7 on the floor, 8 now, and that's going to set him back so far. Spaden and Luffis taking a really big hit, but there you go, Spaden up to the Castle Age, and he's going to have to really do some counter play now in order to basically make up for this loss that Luffis has been taken here. This tower at the back going to go down, and I think Luffis did not delete it himself, so he lost all of the stone that went into that tower. If he'd have deleted that himself, then he would have got some of that stone refunded, maybe about 70, which would have put him over 100 stone, and that means that with a little bit more from this stone pile, he could build another tower, or if he does get to the Castle Age at some point, he could also I guess build that second TC, but he really needs those knights, and Spaden's on his way over now with +1 defense. All of this aggression over at Luffis, there's no counterplay coming in to attack TaToH or Era's base, and in turn, they are basically just walling up with stone now, which means that once this is cleaned up, there's going to be no way to kill some villagers back on the other side, and that means that Spaden and Luffis together will actually be way behind now if these guys are able to wall this up, and I think that they will. TaToH showing no signs of going to the Castle Age here at the moment. He's just throwing loads of villas out to gold. He's building a huge army of skirms, switching now into archers as well, and well, Spaden's knights will come in and clean these skirmishers up, but it might be a little bit too late, to be honest. I think the damage is already done, as we can clearly see. I'm just reading the chat now. It's taking me a while. Jajan4655, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome to the Wallow Warlords. And if you are a subscriber, please, I want to see lots of Wallow hypes in the chat for Dajan right there. In comes some more knights from Spaden. He's going to start attacking these scout cavalry, and notice how Era has actually done bloodlines here with these guys. I would expect to see knights from him once he hits the Castle Age. A lot of the time in a 1v1, the metagame for the Mongols is to make archers and crossbows once you've done your scout rush. But in a 2v2, you can get away with walling up, perhaps, and go straight into knights, which is what I think Era will do here. Scouts from Era still alive as well, and they're just going to be looking for some maybe hole or something that they can go and attack Spaden with or through. But yeah, Spaden now trying to go and hit TaToH a little bit, try and get some equalization done on those villagers, but the total villager count right now is 75 for Spaden and Luffis, and 40, 50, 60, 70, 83 for TaToH and Era, so they're nearly 10 vills ahead in total. And obviously that's going to be a lot of additional resources over the course of the game. As a result, that's going to be a lot of extra military, and in turn that could mean a victory for TaToH and Era if this kind of snowballs out of control. It's going to be a while before Luffis can afford to click to the Castle Age. I think TaToH will beat him, considering that TaToH right now is 20 villagers ahead of Luffis at this stage. So TaToH will be clicking up first to the Castle Age. He'll do it in just a second. He's nearly got 800 food, and this is going to be bad news. Luffis maybe going to try and do something to get him back. Spaden here with his knights, +1 defense. Versus these spears, it shouldn't be too bad, but there's a lot of archers here as well, and I don't know, man. I think Spaden's going to want +2 before he engages. He's incredibly outnumbered. And together, I don't think they can really do much here. TaToH is pretty safe at the moment. He's got a huge army, a really huge army. 43 military units for TaToH right now. And in the meantime, Era gone up to the Castle Age himself. He's got his 2nd and 3rd town centre now up. He's safe behind his stone walls, and Spaden and Luffis are not. So I imagine what we're going to see in a couple of moments is some knights coming out from Era, and then some raiding coming in. But I might be wrong. Era's actually gone and thrown up a 4 TC at the back, so it seems like he's feeling pretty safe behind these walls, and for the time being, he doesn't feel any pressure to go and counterattack. And so for that reason, he's just going to sit back and boom up on 4 TCs and hope that since Spaden is making a lot of knights, which he's actually adding the 3rd stable for now, that he's going to be able to outboom Spaden, even though it was later to the Castle Age. And I think he will do that as well. Spaden on 65 vils, Error on 48. But with the 4 TC, Error should be catching up. And if he's not making military as well, then that boom should be pretty fast and pretty furious as well. Spaden, sorry, not Spaden, Luffis, once again getting raided here. And it's a little unfair to say that Luffis is the weaker link because he was 2v1'd and it's incredibly difficult to defend from that many scouts with bloodlines and that kind of number of army that TaToH had, so it's very tough for Luffis in this game, and he's just got to hope that Spaden can kind of pull his weight a little more and kind of carry them to victory, perhaps. If he buys himself enough time, he can get castle. He is clicking up right now, but this is scary. TaToH with the crossbowman upgrade done, and I just had a university going up as well, so we will see ballistics coming in momentarily. A market just now as well. Maybe he's going to sell his stone. It looks like TaToH is just happy to stay on 1 TC for the time being and really crank up the pressure. No reason to not push this. And oh, well, that would explain it. He's actually going Imperial. TaToH, I wondered why he was staying feudal for so long, but he felt no pressure to go up to the Castle Age since the aggression was all over at the other side of the map. And instead, he's going fast Imperial. Obviously, well, I wouldn't say fast Imperial. He didn't do a fast Imperial from the strategy perspective, but he did do a fast Imperial from an actual timing perspective at 28 minutes clicking up, and with an army this size, TaToH right now is just incredibly far ahead. And once he gets Imp, there's just no way. There's just no way that they're going to be able to stop him, I feel. Arbalest are going to be incredibly strong, and these knights from Spaden, okay, they've got +2 defense and they've got 120 HP, but I think the crossbows here, there's more than enough to have the critical mass that he needs to take these knights down. And with a good positioning, he's going to be in a good position at all. So, apparently, my mic is not working? Surely not. No, my mic is working. You're just trying to troll me. My mic is fine. Yeah, I think you need to refresh or something, dude. Anyway, Spaden trying to break down these walls here on this right-hand side. He's gone with a forward siege workshop, a couple of mangonels, and it's a good idea because this TC is very exposed. I think we will see the mangonels coming out and going on that. But, yeah, I mean, Spaden's going to have to group his army together now and try and save himself from this. TaToH coming in. That Imperial Age upgrade, so fast. Imperial done. And I think TaToH as well. That would explain the university, by the way. He wasn't doing the university for the ballistics. He was doing it for having a university. But he should be doing ballistics anyway, but prioritizing Arbalest and Bracer. Pretty sure ballistics wasn't done. And I think Spaden now, this is going to be busted right open. Arrow with some knights coming in. Spaden with a couple of monks to get some conversions off. It's pretty nice. But this upgrade is about to pop. And I think Spaden's going to lose a huge amount of his economy. And if not, he's going to lose a lot of knights here as well. He can just bring the Arbalest into this corner of these trees and use the hill advantage to just kill these knights right now. They can't surround these Arbalest. And I think the Arbalest are going to actually win this fight. Maybe not if he reinforces, but Spaden's got a lot of his army just to the right, not doing a lot. And the Arbalest are just laying into these knights, man. Look at this. They are going down. Spaden taking huge damage, and there's ballistics from TaToH, so this is going to be even more difficult now. And not only that, but Error, he's going up to the Imperial Age. He's had a 4 TC boom, like we said. He's felt no pressure to really counterattack because he's safe behind his walls. And these Arbalests are just killing it right now. GG, Spaden and Luffis calling it. And I think that fast castle really cost them the game there. I wouldn't say that, you know, fast castling was the wrong thing to do, but it's certainly left his teammate very exposed. The only way that that would have worked better is if Luffis was able to wall himself up. And with Luffis's map, there was no easy way to wall, so he ended up losing... he ended up losing a lot of villagers to that raiding from the 2-on-1 situation. If he'd able to wall himself up, it would have been fine, but he wasn't, and the 2-on-1 took its toll. Meanwhile, the stone wall from Error and the pretty massive army from TaToH allowed them to defend quite easily, and the Castle Age upgrade from Spaden, the fast castle, it just wasn't able to do any counterplay. It wasn't able to hit back hard enough, and as a result, TaToH and Error just snowballed, and they kept their advantage into the Imperial Age. So there you go, game number 1.